What is going on, everyone? Welcome to another Bucks on Deck podcast. I am Anthony Murphy. With me, as always, my good buddy and co-host, Nola Jeffy. Nola, what's going on, man?
How you doing, good buddy?
Good. Doing good. How was your week and weekend or all that stuff?
A lot of rain, which kind of put off a lot. I have a lot of house chores that need to get done, but unfortunately, like 98% of them are outside. I had to cut the grass between 2 days because it started storming midway through the first cut. So
That's nice.
yeah.
I watched way more minor league baseball this past weekend than I probably should have. Like I mentioned it on the show this morning that the Pirates minor league teams didn't win a single game this weekend. And
one in 16, I think it was, and then
overall,
they won 2 Thursday, I think.
Yeah, they had 6 games on Saturday because Bradenton had that doubleheader to make up for it right now, and they still didn't win a game.
Yeah, the Indianapolis Indians they smoked Omaha on Monday, Memorial Day. Like we were talking about the last podcast where they were. I turned it on third inning. It's 9-0.
Mm-hmm.
They've won, I think, 11-3, and then they just got waxed the rest of the week. Lost 6 games because there's an extra game thrown in there.
Yeah, because they had a lot of rain. They're still making up a lot of rainouts. I think they just can't. They straight up canceled that Greensboro game against Asheville. It looks like.
Yeah.
I don't think because I guess they're coming up at the halfway point of the season, so they kind of cut it off and redo it for championship purposes and stuff like that. So I guess they're not going to play Asheville again in the first half. So they're why bother? So.
Yeah. We're getting. I can't remember if it's in a couple weeks. I know it's coming up.
Yeah, it's usually middle, late June, something like that. Because I always thought it's weird because they get to the halfway point and then a week later is the All-Star break and then they have the 4 days off or something like that. It's really weird.
You would think it would be the All-Star break, but it's not.
Yeah, no. I feel like every professional sport is like that. The halfway point and the All-Star break is never lines up with each other, which is I've never understood. So, but. We have a fun little episode with you. A lot of it was ad-libbing, to be honest. We kind of late decisiveness on what to talk about, but I figured it's. I think we both just wrapped up watching that North Carolina LSU game. So I think probably a good starting point is obviously the draft. We're a little more than a month away from the draft now, probably because the draft will be mid-July. So.
Right.
College baseball playoffs going on right now. Quite a few guys that could be in the mix for the Pirates, not only with the first pick, but, second round or with their compensation pick as well. I know we talked briefly about some guys that we were looking forward to watch, but was there anyone else that kind of stood out to you over this weekend that's going to be draft eligible coming up?
Oh, well, I know I mentioned, I don't know if I mentioned on the last show, but Cal Steven, the Mississippi State pitcher, and dude shoves. I don't remember, he threw 6 or 7 innings this past weekend, and had a solid start. And I kind of laughed. I think I said it's funny because given his build and his hair, I was like, he actually kind of looks like Ashcraft, but with a better fastball.
Yeah.
Big kid. I think when I updated at least the 3 rankings that are currently out, he's currently average rankings about 113th overall. So that would be probably a great day 2 pick.
Yeah, first couple rounds of day 2.
Yeah, but that's if he doesn't. Which. I have it pulled up, but my computer's freezing on me again. So, Mississippi State made the Supers, right?
No, they got knocked out by UVA.
Well, then good. He can't pitch his way up the chart more.
Yeah, we were talking that before going on. It feels like every time that there's a guy that we find in during the college baseball playoffs, it's I guess for a reason that we kind of find them and like latch onto them because they're on their way up the draft boards and they always just get right ahead of where the Pirates are picking. So it's like it's always darn, that's the guy I wanted. But yeah, I think for me, like the guys, I think two guys really stood out, and one guy I know I've talked about on this site before, and I know everyone wants to take a hitter, but like I'm still in the best player available thing, and there's a couple East Carolina guys that that really kind of stood out. Trey Savage, obviously for one, he outdueled Chase Burns, which a lot of people I think have Chase Burns as the number one pitcher heading into the draft right now. Doesn't have the same velocity that Burns and even like Hagen Smith has, but it gets a lot of life up in the zone. He has like multiple breaking pitches that are above average to plus, and that work really well off of it. Showed a lot of good control, command, all that kind of stuff, and just like I know you said it in that one article, just like I know you said it, but like lean into what is working, and pitching's what's working for you, and like I don't think you can never have enough pitching, and like even right now with Skeens, Jones, Mitch Keller, even Bailey Falter pitching well right now. Like you never know year to year kind of stuff. If you can get another arm that you can feel safely can fill out that rotation, and you don't like anyone else there at that point, like I don't see the big deal with about taking another pitcher if he's your guy at that spot.
Yeah, and which I think I mentioned it to you earlier too, on the topic of guys pitching their way up the board more. It's kind of funny that even just like looking at this list I have right now, like most of the top guys didn't even make the supers. I think Cags is like the highest ranked pitcher. And he's not even like the Friday night starter because I mean. Arkansas got knocked out. A lot of the top seeds. Wake Forest got knocked out. East Carolina got knocked out. I mean, Iowa's not in it. So Brody Brecht, Santucci, Duke, Holman, Jump. LSU just got knocked out. Even Josh Hartle can't improve his stock.
Which he really, really hurt his during the season. Like, I don't know if there's a guy who's really taken a hit the way I don't know how he finished up the season, but it's interesting. And then like you talk about like Cagliano's probably the highest rate, like, and he's probably not even a pitcher at the next level.
Right.
Like maybe a team gives him a chance to do it, but like it's not even a question for me if I'm drafting him. Like, okay, well you're hitting and like I just want you focusing on hitting.
Yeah.
But the other guy too, but on East Carolina as well was Jacob Jenkins Cowart, outfielder. I think Baseball America had him like early hundreds or something like that. In like their top 500. I don't think Pipeline had him ranked at all. I went and checked this morning.
Pipelines. I updated this list I have. My big board I'm keeping. And yeah, he's 108 on Baseball America. Let's see, 127 on Future Star Series. Joe Doyle's list, and then not even ranked on Pipeline. It's 250.
That's weird. I mean, because I know for a fact that I saw him on the list like when the season. So like they've added 100 extra names to that, and then he still managed to like drop out of it. So that's kind of interesting on that. But like it looks like there's like some raw power in there. It looks like there's some like room for growth in his frame and stuff like that. Has a nice swing. Showed pretty good pace. I think I was looking at his numbers. He only struck out like 13, 14% of the time this year. So solid hitter. Outfielders, I think the Pirates can use quite a few added into the system. And he could be a guy that you can probably get if he's ranked in the early hundreds, probably get him in like the second, third round or so, all that. So third.
Oh, probably,
maybe second.
I mean, probably even fourth. I mean, where he's ranked third, fourth, depending. I know another hitter I kind of enjoyed watching. They got knocked out. The Indiana University. He's listed as a catcher, I think, on their page, but he's been playing like first base in the regionals. Also listed as an outfielder, I think, on some rankings. But Brock Tibbets for Indiana. I think he only had like 5 or 6 home runs this year, but it's a build and a swing where you could see more future power potential out of him.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and I feel like didn't we read something with like when the Pirates drafted Mitch Jebb last year that the Big Ten is like have like a lot of like hitter friendly ballparks and stuff like that. So maybe like the power numbers don't exactly show his true power sometimes. I feel like that's something that I remember when I was like reading more on Mitch Jebb, that like Big Ten was had a lot more pitcher friendly hitter parks.
Right.
So.
And then because even you've been kind of jumping on him more lately, Kalen Culpepper.
Yeah.
Who would be another guy, well, let's wait, that's Big 12.
Yeah.
Keep talking. I'll be right back.
So I think like he brought up Kalen Culpepper, and I really like I watched him play over the weekend, and he's actually playing in Charlottesville, which is about 40 minutes with me. I don't know. Maybe I'll ride out there to take a look at him, but he looks like a guy, solid shortstop, some good hitter. This class doesn't seem like it has a lot of college shortstops that you're probably going to want to reach like too high with. So like someone like him may get taken a little bit higher than maybe you want. Maybe he goes a lot earlier than he probably should. I feel like, and so he while generally I think in most classes maybe he's a guy who does slip to like 37 or something like that. I'm still talking about Culpepper. I was just thinking that maybe because the college shortstop class doesn't seem too great this year, so that maybe someone kind of jumps early and grabs him, so maybe he doesn't slip there. But maybe in like previous years, he's probably a guy that you could see dropping to like 37 at this point. I know a couple of the mocks I've seen had him like I think it was Future Star Series had him at like 36 a couple times, or like 35, 36 a couple times.
Yeah, he was moving up in rankings at one point. Yeah. And, he hit a bit of a slump, I guess, and was sliding down lists. But he had a pretty big regional, so he might start moving up, depending, I guess, on how supers go.
Yeah.
But yeah, it seems to be. I think that's why a lot of people are kind of down on this draft as a whole, in a sense. Just like because there isn't a lot of those like premier position players, and your premier position players, your Vance Honeycutt has a lot of, swing and miss in his bat, and your hitters are, Bazana, who's second baseman. Although I saw somewhere they were talking about potentially even moving him to center field.
Yeah, I think I think it's been like every time I've heard it was like a Baseball America mentions that a lot. I feel like when I listen to their podcast.
So I sent y'all that clip of JJ Weatherholt making that play at shortstop. That I think was it Doyle who was like, maybe I underestimated his ability.
Yeah, well, I think going into the year too, that's part of the reason why they were giving Weatherholt like the edge over everybody, because like because they were at least going to give him a shot to play shortstop, and that some people were saying like there's an outside shot that he could stick there. So like if he sticks there, then like he's like the no doubt first overall pick kind of thing. Which the way he's been hitting, and then that play there, and they made the super regionals, so like he kind of has a chance to head back in that direction kind of thing.
Yeah, well, that's why even like Braden Montgomery's, likely not going to play center field, but he at least had that arm that comes with him to right field.
Yeah.
And there was talks of, I think, of Kurtz potentially being able to play corner outfield, but even that I think is probably.
I mean,
first
they
base.
look at him in like a plus defensively at first kind of thing. So I guess maybe you can give it a shot. Can't hurt, I guess.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, you brought up first baseman on there, and I think we have to kind of bring up the other first baseman that we've been mentioning. You know, we talk about cornering the market on Jared Jones now that there's another one available. And, you know, he's a draft eligible sophomore. So sometimes those guys come with a little bit more of a price tag. Not going to be a top round guy, even probably the first couple rounds. So, but what if you're the Nola. So what have you seen from him this year? As far as I know, he had a pretty good freshman year and all that. And then he's just kind of taken like a huge step forward this year.
Yeah. I mean, his freshman year was all right. And then especially come like the regionals, he actually wasn't even like playing during regionals because he just wasn't hitting at all. And I mean, there's worries about his, swing and miss, but I mean, big kid, a lot of power.
Yes.
Which his birthday falls on the exact deadline date of August 1st to be drafted eligible sophomore. Because I'm trying to think, there was another player I was looking at recently who was born August 16th, so he missed by 2 weeks. The old deadline used to be September 1st.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, he's obviously going to be a first base only profile, DH. But I'd be all for it. I mean, we could use some of that big pop.
Yeah, and that one at bat he had in like I think it was extra innings, or it was very late in the game where he drew that walk. It was a very good at bat. He took some really close pitches on that. I was impressive with it. I have no problem taking a first baseman in this draft. I don't want to limit like the first round pick. I know I talked about it a lot with it. So
yeah.
like, Nick Kurtz would be nice, but like if there's someone else that can provide a little more value elsewhere, even like another pitcher, because like even if you think of it this way, if you were to draft someone like Trey Savage, that and he pans out and he becomes like the fourth or fifth guy in that rotation, that makes another one of these prospects that you already have maybe a little more expendable that you can trade. Maybe
right.
Now it's easier to come off of a Bubba Chandler who you have a better chance of getting a premium bat with someone like him as opposed to trying to draft and develop one.
Right.
So that's kind of where I'm at with. I'd rather just take the higher value player, and I just don't think you're going to get much value out of first baseman with the 9th overall pick.
No, I mean they got it, which, and I guess you kind of see what's happening to some of the recent draft picks. I mean, Spencer Torkelson, a first base only prospect that just got optioned. Andrew Vaughn, first base only prospect who really hasn't done much. I think Jacob Berry is still scuffling in double A. So you're putting a lot of weight on basically that one tool to pan out.
All of those names you just mentioned, top 10 picks. So, yeah. Yep. Speaking of top, so I want to throw this theory out to you, and I kind of hinted towards there, and before the podcast, and so one last guy that I think I kind of want to bring up on here, and then we kind of get into the next thing. So theoretically, let's look ahead to middle of the season, 2026.
Oh, I gotta go. Sorry, no.
middle of the season, 2026. Brian Hayes is still having back issues. He's still struggling to be a league average hitter. Is there a scenario to where you think or debate moving him off of third base?
Yeah, I mean, if he is, I mean, The glove is great. The glove is great, but
legitimate, yeah.
It's tough because I mean, obviously the glove is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, what are we on, like year 3 or 4 now of like with the bat itself? Just like, oh, if it comes around,
Yeah.
And last year it started coming around, but then it was kind of rough to start the year, and it seems like every time it starts picking up, back injury again, kind of deal, and it's tough having. It's great having that Gold Glove there, but he's cheap for what he is, but it's tough having a below average third baseman, and yeah, he might even. I know there was talks coming up of he's probably one of the few players that could play shortstop with his skills, and I almost would consider doing that because you could take his bat profile better at shortstop.
Yeah. Would it make the decision to move him off the position easier if there was someone legitimate waiting behind him?
It would help.
So would that make like taking Cam Smith from Florida State like that less crazy right now?
I mean, he had a pretty big regionals himself.
Yeah. And I feel like like the thing where like if his name's Cameron, like I'm automatically all
obviously
for drafting him. Yeah. That aside, like he's been one of the more solid hitters that I've seen this year in college baseball. He's got the arm to stick to play third. I feel like obviously whoever, like, even if they don't move Cabrian off of third base, like if we're looking all the way down to the end of his contracts, whoever takes over for third base at some point is always going to seem like a little bit of a step down defensively, just because
Tamar Johnson.
I mean, that would probably make Yark very upset.
Yeah, I was gonna say, does he even have the arm for it?
Probably not.
Miss Jeff.
But like, if you can get someone like Cam Smith in this draft, who's a really above, like, he's going to be a really good hitter. He can hit for power. He uses all fields. He's really cut back on the swing and miss. He at the very least, he has the arm to play third base. Like there'll be questions about the other stuff and everything like that. Do you maybe do it like knowing that, like, okay, well, like this is another year and with Key struggling with back issues and offensive ineffectiveness, more or less. Like he had that home run over the weekend, which is nice to see, but like we get hyped up. People get hyped up every year going into the year because of what he does in spring training.
Right.
And then it's just the same thing all over again.
Just very high exit velocity ground balls.
Yeah. So I don't know. That's just something because, like I said, I wrote about Cam Smith on the site a couple months back during the season on there. He's just been a guy that's really stood out to me, but it's always been hard to find a spot for him unless you start talking about maybe throwing him in right field or even playing first base or something like that. But then that just kind of goes to my thing about not wanting to draft a first baseman with your first pick. So, but then like as the season has unfolded, and I've looked at this on the Pirates side of things, like this gives Key like another year and a half to kind of work on things. And like, what is the average annual values about around $8 million on the contract or so, in between 8 and 10. I'll pay that for an above average second baseman or shortstop if you want to try him at shortstop and stuff like that. I'll take that. And then you have the Cam Smith hitting an actual third base profile hitter there.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's just something I was thinking on that. He was really the only other guy too that like I'm kind of looking forward to this weekend seeing, because he's a guy that will probably go in the top 15, top 20 for sure.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, You can pretty much with the Pirates talk your way into just about anything because it's such a ragtag, odd built roster as it is. So,
yeah.
I mean, you got a shortstop who probably shouldn't be playing shortstop. You got a third baseman who doesn't hit like a third baseman. I mean, the only person that really fits their profile at this point is probably Connor Joe being a quality first baseman and hitting with a OPS over 800.
Yeah. 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 That's crazy how that worked out. Yeah. So I think what we're trying to say is if you're going to take a hitter, just take the best, the guy you feel is the best. That's not a first baseman. And
which
just
actually,
worry about it later.
I feel like this Nick Gonzalez slander. And props to Nick Gonzalez. Mad props to Nick Gonzalez. Don't play him at shortstop. Mad props to Nick Gonzalez.
Yeah, if they just stick him at second and just leave him there and let him hit, man, how big is that for the Pirates to have him like kind of just finally break through like that?
Right. I'm sick of this shortstop carousel.
Yes, that is annoying.
Speaking of that, one of the guys is now going down for betting. Whoops.
Oopsies. Yeah. But so transition, and it's funny. We said that was going to be a quick thing on the draft. That turned into quite the conversation there. But we wanted to talk a little bit.
If you wanted to too.
Yeah, no. We'll have probably after the draft. We'll give some time to kind of put some stuff together. We'll probably have like a whole draft themed kind of episode leading up to it. But the next guy we wanted to talk about, already in the Pirate system, Braxton Ashcraft had another really solid start. He's doing fantastic right now in AA, and I think we've both been pretty vocal that it's about time to give him that bump up to AAA.
At least, yeah.
Do you think? I mean, you say they at least there. What more would you have? Okay, let's say he pitches this week in Altoona, which he'll be in Richmond this week, about an hour or so away from me. So that, what more would you want to see from him to maybe give him a shot in that last rotation spot at some point in Pittsburgh?
Without going too much into a diatribe of, how they used to say AA is the equivalent of AAA, and although their actions didn't match their words, at least in AA, I mean, how much more do you need out of him? He took on 3 of the best offenses in the Eastern League: Somerset, Portland, and Erie. He did fine. He's already on the 40-man roster. He's already used an option, the 20 days. So, what would it hurt, really? I mean, his swing and strike weight, K percentage is way up there. Doesn't walk a lot. So, I mean, I'd be game. I'd say I'd be totally fine with calling him up and let it ride.
So this is something that they asked me on NS9. How would you feel about them throwing him into the bullpen? And then eventually, like throw him in the bullpen the rest of the year and just say, like, we're going to do this now because we feel like we can win more games because you're there. But then next year, we're going to give you a shot to earn a rotation spot.
I guess. Well, I know because you even were discussing about it's kind of different when the other teams were doing it because they were like playoff driven teams, playoff aspirations. I mean, I'd be for it, but I guess the other aspect is just a matter. I mean, they do have a 4-headed horse right now that's working.
Yeah.
So it'd be nice if they had that 5th starter, but you can make it work with a Quinn if you want to utilize Braxton, say, 3 times a week out of the pen, 2 extended outings, especially, he could come in after Quinn.
Yeah, that's what
piggyback situation, and you can monitor his innings, pitches. Although it seems like, because I think was it Destin or Alex Stumpf that he had a conversation with recently about the reins have finally been.
Yeah,
like he can finally let loose. Although he's still 80, 90 pitches an outing, which. I mean, let him start go 4 or 5 innings. It's it was that Somerset start that kicked off his 5 game stretch of 26.1 innings, 34 Ks, only 6 walks, 3 earned runs allowed, 1 home run.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, he has 2 balks, almost equal to his earned runs over 26.1 innings. And a 1.03 ERA, like it was like earlier in the year, the command on his breaking pitches seemed off. He wasn't landing them as he had last year when it was like, man, nobody can touch this guy. And then all of a sudden it was like that Somerset start where it was just like everything kind of just came together all at once. And he's just been dealing since.
So, and I just thought of it this way too. Like you talk about like the walks and the control and everything like that. So the easy way to think of it is throw him in the bullpen. He helps your bullpen that way. But having a starting pitcher like that who can limit the walks and not walk a lot of people and go 5, 6, 7 innings because he's only throwing 70, 80, 90 pitches and stuff like that.
Right.
That does just as much to help the bullpen out as physically putting him in the bullpen.
Right.
By having a guy that we see this with Mitch. We can count on Mitch to go throw 5, 6, 7, whatever innings. Going into that game, or the day before, well, we can bring in this extra reliever here because Mitch is pitching the next day. We're not going to need as many guys. Same thing there. It's another day you can give your bullpen like light work kind of stuff. So, right. and like at that point, if you, you can always like slowly stretch him back out. But like at that point, once you shift Ashcraft to the bullpen, you're looking at like you only have like 5 starters on that 40-man roster. If something happens, like you're talking about like adding someone that's not on the 40-man roster, and we've seen what the like AAA rotation looks like right now.
Right,
it's not much to choose from.
And on that, I mean, why not push Quinn to the bullpen?
Yeah,
maybe tell him to put him in the bullpen and kick it up a couple notches. Like don't worry about throwing 5 pitches, just 2, 3 pitches. Just go out there and gun it.
Sneaker slider. That's it.
Occasional curve.
Yeah. That's the case with like a lot of pitchers. That's like the saying, but like it's really is true with Quinn. Like once he start going through the lineup, the second, the third time and stuff like that, like the numbers really, really decline at that point. So
and that's why Luis Ortiz is succeeding in his role. I mean, he's not striking people out.
No.
And he's walking a lot. He's just a lot of contact. I think his xFIP and his Sierra are both over 5. Because, he gives up a lot of contact. Like, he doesn't strike people out, walks a lot, and gives up a lot of contact. But he's getting a lot of ground balls and weak contact enough that, well, unless there's inherited runners, because he's close to like 50% inherited runners have scored, but in short spans, it works.
Yeah.
3 innings save the other day, was it?
Yeah. 3 innings save.
So,
So, Ashcraft's been really good. it's been nice to see him dominate AA, but like it's definitely at the point to where like I don't think it's doing him much now too, because like he's even shown that like he can carry the stuff past the fourth inning now.
Right.
So like now that he's shown that I mean, and that was really like we knew the stuff was good going into years. Like we just wanted to know that the stuff was still going to be good deeper into games as like a traditional starter. So now that we've seen that.
I think there were even times where it was his velo was dipping to even like 93.
Yeah, I think it was his last start. Like I heard them mention something about 92, 93 or something like that. Or
then I think he got pissed off I think he got pissed off and on court to 97 after that though.
Yeah. So it's there, and like the 97, like it doesn't have like ideal shape to it, but like he pairs it with like those with the fastball and with the slider and the curve.
Right.
So just like the tunneling alone kind of helps with it play a little bit more up in the zone when maybe it shouldn't. So and now he's showing the velocity deeper. So
and his command.
Yeah.
Which we haven't been able to say about, a lot of these arms that it's like, Quinn, Ortiz, because a lot of the times it's like you pair suboptimal shape with suboptimal command. That's what's going to happen.
Yep. But Ashcraft can get away with it because the velocity is the velocity is on the higher side, and he can put it wherever he wants in the strike zone.
Three pitches
wherever he wants. I've always been like particular, like I would love to see him throw a changeup. And I hear the broadcasters like mention that he throws a changeup too. Like we don't have velocity readings, so maybe just like my eyesight's that bad to where I can't tell the difference on it. But like maybe, I mean, I'm sure he's snuck in a couple. It's just I guess the old school preference thing. Like, let me see it a couple of times. But like, even like you said, that's three pitches that are above average to plus with above average to plus command.
Right.
Like that's what you want out of a major league starting pitcher, to have three pitches that can do that.
Yeah.
So,
now Sean Sullivan, when his changeup's on, his changeup's pretty dirty.
Yeah, that pitch was really, really dipping. I feel like I have to believe, just watching him, especially that not his Sunday start, but that Tuesday start, watching how like the breaking ball and like the changeup were like just like diving away. Like I have to feel like if you wanted to reach back more and get more and maybe get some more strikeouts, I have to think it's there if you want to. Which it goes against like his game and stuff like that. He's the fastball command and work everything off that. Right. But like, I just feel that Tuesday game watching it, there's more there if he wanted it.
He was sitting 93, I think, pretty consistently. But
yeah. Okay. So, all right. Well, the last part, I guess we'll go head into the last part here. We'll do a quick preview for this upcoming week. We didn't have any Greensboro to watch last week because Asheville doesn't have a stream, but this week we'll have all four affiliates back on stream, so that'll be fun. So
hopefully it'll be fun.
This week? Oh yeah, that's true. Wasn't fun
at least looks like they're going to get a little bit of a reprieve on the opponents this week. Because Indianapolis, as we mentioned earlier, had a 1-6 week. They're taking on the Columbus Clippers, essentially, like Clippers hat, who are 11th out of 20 in team OPS and 19th out of 20 in team ERA. The list is kind of overall. You got Espino is listed, but he's obviously out for the year again. Brito, Valera, they were each at one point in time top 100 prospects. They've slipped a little bit, though. We should get to see Gavin Williams because he had his first rehab start, his first appearance of the season last Wednesday. It was, I believe, only 1 inning, so I'd imagine he gets stretched out for a longer start this week. So that'll be fun.
East Carolina.
Yeah. Speak of the devil. Jumping down to Altoona, who had a 2-4 week, which, all things considered, that's a pretty good week for them, generally.
Fair enough.
They're taking on the Richmond Flying Squirrels, San Francisco Giants affiliate. Their top-ranked prospect is Hayden Birdsong, 6th overall. He was a 6th-round pick in 2022. He currently has a 2.28 ERA in 43.1 innings. The Flying Squirrels' offense is worst in the league, so worse than Altoona. I think they were 10th out of 12 in team OPS. Richmond's 12 out of 12. But Richmond does have the 4th out of 12 team ERA. So might be a lot of low-scoring affairs in that one. So
I'm going to try to make my way out to at least one of those.
Yeah, you probably won't need any Benadryl. You just need 9 innings of that.
Yeah, that's good. That'll put me to sleep probably.
Yeah, and then actually both A-ball teams, high A and low A, are facing Philadelphia Phillies affiliates. Oh, Greensboro's taking on the Jersey Shore Blue Claws. So Justin Crawford, who we saw a lot of last year in low A with the Clearwater Threshers, he's 4th overall for the Phillies. Pipeline number 62 and Baseball America number 48. It'll be a good matchup just because currently Greensboro is 1st in their division. They're 1.5 games up on the Blue Claws. So This is a pretty good division battle going into whenever the first half ends.
Yeah.
Imagine in 2-3 weeks.
Yeah. By the end of the month for sure. I feel like it's generally by the end of June, before the end of June.
Yeah, it was like I want to say last year was what I could find where it mentioned AAA was like June 20 something. I don't remember which day, but then Bradenton's taking on the Clearwater Threshers, Phillies again. Team OPS 1st out of 10, team ERA 6th out of 10 for the Threshers, who are currently 1st in the Bradenton's division, just ahead of the Lakeland Flying Tigers. We'll get to see Aiden Miller again, who is absolutely annihilating the Florida State League. He has almost 1,000 OPS. He's flying up top 100 lists. And then George Clausen, who personally, I wouldn't be surprised if he moved up, which would be fun because he would move up to Jersey Shore to face Greensboro.
To face Greensboro. That would be funny.
Yeah, because 0.26 ERA through 34 innings. I think he's ready for the next level. So
I think he's been ready. Like I feel bad for Bradenton. This is gonna be like the 3rd time they've had to face him, and he's just he is just dominating. I mean, obviously he's dominating everybody, but like
it's kind of like Greensboro facing Perales, who then went up and destroyed Altoona.
Yeah, I like the unison throughout the system there.
Right. Yeah. Gotta love the hitting.
Yeah. That's fun. It's fun watching all the teams lose over the course of a weekend. That's fun. It's fun.
Yeah. So what is that? I mean, Greensboro had half the wins. So what? 7 total wins this week between the 4 full season. Nice.
Solid.
Greensboro had 3 of them.
Solid stuff there.
It's gonna be a big week. Big week coming.
Yeah. So pitching out in Richmond, and pitching against Bradenton again, and then Aiden Miller, which I love me some Aiden Miller. So that'd be fun to see him play again.
And then super regionals.
Yes, I am excited for that. I don't know, I'll probably my week's pretty busy, so Sunday might be the only day that I can get out to a game. So, which might be Bubba Chandler pitching then. So that would be good.
Let's see how he see if he can keep it going after coming back. He had a pretty decent start.
Yeah, the controls looked a lot better. on there. But that'll do it for this episode. And thank everyone for tuning in. For those who aren't watching the video, Nola, you want to give out your socials real quick? If you got any Nola knowledge, go ahead and pass that along to everybody.
Well, we'll start with at Nola Jeffy, NOLAJEFFY. Nola Knowledge. Coming up blank again.
Blank.
Yeah. Too many thoughts going in my head. I'm thinking about all the tasks I need to do. Although I do have one indoor task, drywalling. Did that for the first time. Can't give any tips on that because I watched a couple of YouTube videos.
Yeah. Yep. I'm a YouTube guy. Yeah. I don't know how to do it. I'm going to YouTube.
I think I kept it out of my mouth. I got some on my arm. It looks okay.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. I guess the only thing I will pass along, and it's since that there is the off chance that I'll be at a game this week, is that if you're at a game, you paid the ticket, so like enjoy the game how you will. Just remember there are other people who are coming to the game to want to watch more thoroughly. So if you get up, wait till in between the inning. When you come back, wait till the next inning. Don't get up in the middle of a game while someone's sitting there watching the game. I'm just not talking about me. I'm talking about just anyone in general. Just be considerate. That's all I ask. And if you see a guy in Richmond recording with his phone, that is me. So yes, please wait till in between innings to get up.
I don't know why that just made me think of it. It just makes me think of similar to the gym. If you get dumbbells off the rack, step back. Don't stand in front of it, because other people want the dumbbells too.
Yeah.
Get your dumbbells and move.
Yeah, be considerate. That's all we're asking. Just be considerate. Exactly. I guess that's hard for some people nowadays, but just be considerate. Yeah. All right. So you can follow me on Twitter at @_Murphy88. Subscribe to the site Bucks on Debt Substack. We had a really good month of May, and looking forward to another big month in June. We're actually coming up on the 1 year of the site, probably like a month and a half away. We'll have updated rankings for the site. I'm probably going to say beginning of next week, just to give me time to finish those up and then read through them one more time. So be on the lookout for those. Subscribe so you can get access to those wonderful player write-ups and updates that I've been working on for it. Maybe some added video and stuff like that. And I guess we will catch you guys next week. Have a good one.
Next week.